Man, what's your problem, dude? Okay, let's do that. Okay, maybe up close and then come back slow. Okay. Okay, well that worked. Hey, hello. My name is Nick. I always put in the time, so my art is no longer a crime. Today we are back to it like a good habit. Or back at it like a good habit. That's what I would say. Yep. I'm playing today. I'm playing today. I'm drawing today, I should say. Oh, music's so loud. Music's so loud. Hold up. Music's so loud. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Now can you even hear the music at all? Barely. Okay, let me pump that just a touch. Alright. Oh, hello! Hi, Callaway. Hello. Or wait, is that from last time? Because it's not showing up in the tree. It's not showing up in the chat here. No, I don't think you were here last time. I think that's new. Okay, there we go. Music should be good. Should be good. Okay, I need to turn down just this smack more for me personally. There we go. Hello, hi. We're doing a little bit more drawing today. Working a little bit more on my comic idea. I haven't been for a while because I got sick and I got lazy. And today I was like, no, we're back. I'll be scared. That was unintelligible at the end, but whatever. But yeah, I'm back. Want to work on this a little bit more. Maybe yap a bit. Although I really don't know what I'm going to talk about, if I'm going to be honest. I usually end up finding something to talk about. I'm pretty good at that. I can just kind of, I would say I'm a decent yapper. Even though I really don't think I have that much to talk about. There are times where I'll stop and I'll think about my day and stuff that I do, and I'm like, how do other streamers do this? How do they always have something to talk about on stream? They must write down the stuff that happens to them throughout the day. Or they just have a really good way of either A, attracting just misfortune and being really good at telling it into a funny story, or B, they're lying. One person who's really good at this is Doki Bird. She always seems to attract some sort of misfortune, especially whenever she's traveling, and she travels probably more than the average person. I wouldn't say a lot, but definitely more than an average person. She always seems to attract some sort of calamity. I think she's just bad at getting to places on time, and that's what really causes it. But she's very good at making it sound funny. I'm gonna be honest. I think she's just I think she does bad time management. Oh, hello, it is showing you. Hi. Okay, yes, this is from today. Yay! Hello, Callaway. Hello. How's your week been? Or weeks, or days, or hours? Even past couple minutes. I don't really care. What am I doing? Okay. Last time we worked on these dudes. We got them going. What is this? What layer is that on? I don't know. I want to get that green going. What layer is that on? Oh my god, is that on the top layer? Well, what else is on the top layer? Okay, that stuff I don't really like is on the top layer. Okay. We got these guys, I got this guy. Actually, last time I worked solely on Willy. So this is number 3. We need to start working on actually like finalizing parts of the design. I'm not crazy about her eyes still. There's still something off. I think it's because I've really given her the same types of eyes as these guys, where it's either no eyes or they're bugging out. And this guy just has just eyes in a void, which surprisingly just worked really well. Although I do need to figure out his arms and his hands and what all the gauntlets look like and whatnot. And I haven't figured out her hands at all. But something's just off about her eyes, and I can't put my finger on it. I can't put my finger on it. I think it's just because it just doesn't look like her. Like I have the butterfly hairpin. I have the hair-ish. I probably need to work on that a bit. But she has confusing hair. Where is that? She has confusing hair. The more I stare at the hair, the more I don't know what's going on with it. What layer is that on? There we go. Actually, hold on a second. I'm going to bring her up on another monitor so I can just kind of and look up like a doofus. We'll be doofing it. Wilhemina Frost. Come on. Come on. Come on. Why is the number 1 thing past life rather than just actually her? Well, I guess it is what people are curious. Like, wait a second, where do I know this person from before? Okay, ooh, that's a nice high-res picture. Hello, mama. Okay, ooh. I get it, ad block. Go away. Go away, go away, go away, go away, go away. You're blocking something. Ad block. You're becoming what you hated. Ad block. Ad block. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. Okay. I don't know why I can get out of that, but here we are. Yay! Okay, now I have some actual... Okay, because her hair is driving me crazy. Like... I feel like the sun is close, but I really feel like this is something I'm going to have to sleep on. I've slept on it, and I'm coming back, I'm looking at it with fresh eyes. Still not crazy about it. Let's see. I've done more pointy chin over here. Don't like it. Well, I haven't done pointy chin with these eyes. I don't know. Let's try some stuff. What layer is this on? It's over here. Okay. We're just playing around trying to figure stuff out anyways. Whoa, that's huge. Oh, that's not the pen I wanted out. I usually just use the turn up or the G pen if I'm going to be so real. And I'm drawing with white. There we go. Okay, hold on a second. There you go, more middle. Well, it's an entirely different character. I don't know, it just doesn't read as her. There's something that seems off. Like, I look at other chibis and it's like, oh yeah, I immediately know who this is supposed to be. I think it's because I'm missing... maybe some more defining characteristics. Probably Part of the problem is she has such a big ass. Because, okay, the reason I say that is because one of the, oh, hold on, I need to hide some of these guys. Okay, none of this stuff is what I wanted to hide. There we go. Oh my god, none of this stuff is what I wanted to hide. No, where are these? Okay, she has such a big head. One of the big things is her cloak going out like that. However, we come back over here. I gave her such a big head that would be blocked. I guess I could try to put something in. No, but her hair would be in the way. Like, literally, it would have to be coming out to, like, right here in order to be seen, and that's just not cutting it. Okay. Well... What are some ways that we can... What are some more parts of her design? We got the butterfly hairpin. That's an imperative, like an imperative. She asked for people to make sure they incorporate that whenever they're drawing her. Sword would help. I don't have the... She does not have the sword. Alright. Let's see. Let's see, and luckily the sword is going behind her, so that makes it easy. I think it's smack against the back of her legs whenever she had to run, but she probably moves it to the side, like, move it over here. So, okay. She has a cross guard on it. I think I'm drawing too small. Because now it's actually getting difficult to put in detail. I'm going to blow her up. It is going to mess with things and make it look goofy, but it is what it is. Okay, there we go. I can't undo stuff, I just realized. And this is all on the same layer, I also just realized. But whatever, it's supposed to be a dirty sketch, so who cares? Okay. Also have her hair going out like this when it's supposed to go in like this. That's another thing. Hold up. We can fix that. That's easy to fix. Okay. Okay, and then we got the sword coming out like this. You literally can't see it there. Maybe I'll put it more, well, I do have her arms like going behind her. The arm is not always going to be there. Let's remove the arm for right now. We'll find a different spot for it. Actually, let's remove both arms. Because they're not always going to be there. Okay, yay! She's a little armless at the moment, but that's alright. She'll get it back. We can fix that. Alright, and then sword's pretty low, so right here. Okay, little diamonds at the ends. Alright, and then a cross guard like that, another Diamond at the end. There we go. Easy peasy. There we go. Okay, sword helps. Let's see. Other defining features. There's her armband. Okay. Let's see. But now here's a big question. Do I want her to have regular arms, or do I just want her to have, like, stick arms? I kind of like the stick arms. They kind of remind me of, oh geez, did you ever see, I was just thinking about this just earlier today, and this is probably, I was just thinking about this is probably one of the reasons why whenever I think of goofy stuff, I always think about it in comic terms like this. It was Order of the Stick. Let me see if I can bring this up, because I used to read this so much back in the day. Order of the Stick, yeah. Giant in the Playgrounds. Yeah, does he still? Yeah, it has been this ongoing, wow, the last time he updated it, it's been this ongoing webcomic. It's been going on since 3.5e came out, and it was originally started in, I think, like Dragonlance magazine, and it was to make fun of like the new system and the stuff the changes that came in there, and it was for 3.5e Dungeons and Dragons, which there was a huge schism after that. So 3.5e, very much beloved, would eventually become Pathfinder after they released 4th edition, and a whole bunch of people hated 4th edition. So like the people who loved 3.5e and wanted to keep playing it, they stuck with it, and a bunch of them split off into a completely different company named Paizo that started publishing their own works using the old 3.5e mechanics, and that became Pathfinder, and they've been the rival for, they've kind of been very much the underdog, but definitely like Wizards of the Coast rival for years. But I mean, Wizards of the Coast has them beat by far. I mean, only one has a movie. Just saying. But stupid cough, it won't go away. And it's because I keep coughing, that's why. You know the thing, coughing's good when you're actually sick, but when you're starting to come down from being sick, you need to stop coughing as much as you can, because it's actually going to just keep exasperating things and just make it so that you just keep coughing. So, but I'm really bad at not coughing, because it's coughing and you feel like, there's something in my lungs, I gotta get it out. The reason why there's something in your lungs and you feel like you need to cough is because you keep coughing, so you have to stop coughing so you can stop coughing. Yep. Yeah. But let me see. Let me show this page. Let me show this page. Can I show this page? No, I can't show this page. Oh wait, hold on. If I do this, and then I do this. Yes, this is it. Okay. So it started like, man, I don't remember when it started. But my friend put this on me, brought this up to my attention in college, and I read through it like multiple times. And I mean, you think One Piece has a lot of pages. 1343. He's slowed down a lot. Like, it used to be, I don't remember. Actually, I have it saved to my phone, because it's one of those tabs I've had on my phone, because I've read through it so many times. I keep telling myself, one of these days I'll go back. One of these days. No, I actually got rid of it. I don't remember where I was. I'll click on one of these. I don't think I was here. I don't remember, but this is the style. I think this is probably why I think about things in comics, because I've read through this whole thing multiple times, but I'm pretty out of the loop. But it's all about this adventuring party that started out as just like your basic archetypes. You got a ranger, you got a fighter, you got a cleric, although you got a bard, although that's not their cleric. They have a completely different cleric. Well, kind of. You got your wizard who's up there. You got your rogue. And it started out as just making fun of a system, but then the guy just like, you know what? I'm gonna actually add some story to this, and it got really good. It's genuinely a very, very, very good story. And I think I haven't read it in a while. In fact, I haven't read it in a couple years. It's one of those things I always said, I'm going to go back to it one day and I'm going to catch up and I'm going to finish. But I never did. I'm going to have to find where I was before and start there. I don't even remember. But I think but I read through it all once, and then I kept up with it for a while, and eventually I got an itch in me, and so I started and I read through the whole thing again, and I think I've done that a couple times, honestly. It's so good. It's been going for a long, long, long time, though. And obviously, I mean, listen, I know Arthur Shade at One Piece. Yeah, One Piece is on 1182. He's on 1343. But notice it's just one-page things like this. What is this guy? So, and when did he put this up? It just says 2026, so it looks like he did this year. Wait, there's a parody? Okay, so it looks like he's doing a couple things. He doesn't update very often stuff on the site, because you can see the news 2021, 2 years, 2023, 2024, another one 2024, and then finally one in 2025. This guy doesn't update very often. I think he has his own life and whatnot that he does. It used to be a lot more back in the day, obviously. I think it would be once a month or something like that. But yeah. But it started out as just random comics in the Dragonlance magazine, and then when the Dragonlance magazine went away, he just switched to his own site and doing it. That's honestly a really good read. Man, I had a lot of... I'm just starting to realize how many webcomics I read back in the day. Oh my goodness. I had such a webcomic just time in my life now that I think about it. Let's see, what did I read? I read Order of the Stick. I read all of Control Alt Delete back in the day. Eventually I stopped keeping up with it, and I have no intention to get back into it. I read all of Dr. McNinja. I think I read all of Axe Cop 2. Dr. McNinja and Axe Cop are peak Quirk McChungus. Although Axe Cop is pretty good, because it was a guy who's a professional illustrator, and what he did was he asked his... I don't know if it was his 5-year-old brother or his 5-year-old nephew to tell him a story, and then he just turned it into a comic, and it's the... You go into it knowing that, and then it's just the utterly insane ramblings of a child brought to exquisite life with excellent art. It's so funny. But it was it's peak Quirk McChungus humor. Peak, peak, late 2020s, early 2010s, the kind of stuff that we consumed back then. It's extremely millennial core. let's see. I feel like there were others that I read. There was quite a few I had in the rotation at one point. But eventually I stopped doing that until I picked up reading manga with just deciding to read Bleach one day when I was really bored at work. What was it? This was like 3 years ago almost. It was at the end of 2023, I want to say. 2023, 2022, sometime around in there. I think it was at the end of my first year at my job. Yeah, it was at the end of my first year at my job. Things are really boring around the Christmas season because, I mean, I work IT help desk, and if people aren't having, and it's the Christmas season, so a ton of people are out, and if people aren't at work, then they aren't having tech issues, and if they're not having tech issues, then I got nothing to do. I was just sitting there, I was really bored, and I guess instead of doom scrolling on Twitter, which I probably just need to delete off my phone because it's so bad recently, it's been real bad recently, instead of like just doom scrolling, I decided to just randomly read Bleach. Oh, it was when I remember why. It was because the first season of the 1,000-Year Blood War had come out after Bleach being off the air for like decades, and I was like, I got super nostalgic because Bleach was like my first real anime. Well, no, it was not my first real anime. My first real anime was not Dungeons and Dragons. It was Dragon Ball Z. But later in life, I watched Dragon Ball Z like after I was supposed to be in bed on a good TV that was in my room at like 2% volume, and hoping my parents didn't catch me. They did, and I lost the TV that was in my room because of it. And then I didn't really watch a whole lot except for Avatar: The Last Airbender for years, although that's not really anime. Well, there was a huge discourse about it at the time. Whether it is or not, I don't frankly care, if I'm going to be honest. Let's see, but it wasn't until I was back in college I started actually watching anime, and that's when I started with watching Bleach. I don't remember why. I think I was just really bored, because that was when I was living with my older sister, going to community college, and I just kind of had a job at the time, just like a part-time job, and there had a lot of time where I was just really bored. So I watched all of Bleach, and then I had seen all of Naruto on I almost want to say Crunchyroll, but that's not it. It was Toonami. I had seen all of like the original Naruto on Toonami back in the day, and then I watched all of Shippuden on after that when I was back in college, and then I started watching One Piece. And then, but I never really read anything. So it was something that was very nostalgic to me when I was thinking like, oh, the 1,000-Year Blood War is coming out. Like the actual final arc that I don't know anything about. Oh man, this takes me back to my days when I was fresh out of an internship and just trying to figure out adult life for the first time. So I decided to read Bleach for the first time, and then I decided to read... Then I was done with that, I was like, you know what, I'm going to read One Piece. I've watched a lot of it, but I haven't really, like, read it. And I decided to just read it, and oh my gosh, I was so hooked again after that. That led me to other stuff. That led me to catching up with One Punch Man, and just a bunch of stuff. I need to catch up. I haven't caught up on Gachi Akuda in a while too. I read that back in February, and I've kind of fallen off. Stupid doom scrolling. I just realized something else that's gonna help her look more like Mina. Oops, wrong. Oops. That's actually kind of good though. Actually, no, that didn't make any difference. And in fact, that's just gonna make things look weird later. There we go. Okay. Cool. Okay. Her belts. That'll help too, as well as this slit right here. And these. And those. Okay. I don't want to get too detailed, but I do want to be like, hey, this is this character. Okay, so there's a slit right here that goes up. Not that far up. Okay. And then there's clasps. We'll just put in 2. There's 3 on our actual model. We'll just put in 2 or else things are going to get kind of muddied. We're going to put in the belt. The belt has a buckle on it. That looks okay. And then there's another part of the belt that goes around and holds in the sword. There we go. Okay, now she's starting to look more like Mina. Okay. All right, let's add the arms back in. Let's see. Do I want to go with little goofy stick arms like this? Of course, that would go against, like, what I'm doing for everybody else. It'd be weird if she only had stick arms and everybody else didn't. Although I do kind of like the stick arms, I'm not going to lie. It's very nostalgic for me and me alone. Something tells me I should make a new layer for this. Okay. Yeah, now I don't want to make a new layer. Can't hear my neighbor outside, can you? That guy's kind of... Okay, I gave her really beefy arms. That guy's always outside. When the weather's nice, he's always like over there talking to people on his phone. Or he's like out in his truck when the weather is not nice talking to people on his phone. Like... Like, I never see him in his actual house. Or I guess apartment. Okay. Also, I realized very quickly that I was getting way too detailed with the arms. And now have her arms at a weird angle. Okay. Let's just not do something that's gonna look weird. Or that looks weird. Okay, actually, let's just go full cartoony. We're just gonna go rubber hose. Everything's the same length, not that long. She's got like spider. She's got like spider legs. Way too long legs. Okay, normal proportions where the hands are going to come down to like right here do not look good on these characters. We gotta break some stuff here. We gotta break some rules. Okay. Go out down more of an angle. Wait, hold on. Where do I want the elbows to be? I want them to be further up. Like, hands should be... No. There. It still seems kind of long. Well, also I made her hands huge. Okay. Okay. All right, there we go. It's a little bit better. Let's make this a little bit smaller. There we go. Also, her hands are always gloved. And she has long sleeves. And she will never show her hands. She has an armband. It also has a butterfly on it. Yay, because that's like her symbol. Wait, no. This would be, she would be behind it. She's gonna have sleeves. Although, honestly, putting that much detail in there I think is a bad idea. I should just make her arms the same color as her, make her arms the same color as her clothes. It's probably a better way of doing it. I'm not crazy about the hands. They kind of look like baby hands. I do realize I only put in 4 fingers, but frankly, so many other people do that. I don't see why I shouldn't. I want fingers to be a little bit longer. Just a touch. There we go. Now on the other side. Something. I'm gonna cheat a little bit. All right, and then Horizontal. Where'd he go? Ah, where'd he go? Where'd he go? Oh my god. It's a real flip. Hold on. Sometimes the flips are weird. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Okay. Just feeling a little bit more like Willy. Okay, another thing. I just noticed this. She has 2 more smaller slits right here. To allow for some more movement, I guess. Okay. That helps a bit. Let's see. Anything else that'll make it look more like Willy that isn't being blocked off? I didn't give her a neck, so I can't do any of I can't do any of this stuff up here. So I can maybe give her this flower actually. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna merge these 2 layers. There we go. Okay. And let's see here. And honestly, Twitch, don't ban me. But these are more like, let's see, actually, it's more like doot, 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 and then doot, 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 doot. There we go. Okay. There we go. There we go. Alright. Oh! I think that's incredibly important. Her mole. And then... let's see. What is that? It's like a butterfly on a flower. Hold on, let me show this what I'm looking at. It's a little bit fuzzier on here. But it's this. That's right over here. Wow, it's really fuzzy. These are terrible. I'm looking at a much more high-res thing on my screen. It's like a butterfly on a flower with some leaves. Oh yeah, and she's also got this necklace right here, but... we might try adding that. Although, she doesn't have a neck, so... honestly... I think making sure I got the hair right is going to be more important than details like that. Let's see here. Okay, so let's take another look at this hair. Okay, also... she absolutely has hair vents, which is good because she fights, so she definitely needs the airflow. So I gotta make sure I incorporate those. I'll do this on this layer up here. They're asymmetrical. I've got her hair going the wrong way too. It doesn't meet its part on... I guess that would be her right, our left. It meets on her right, on her left, our right. Okay, so it's gonna meet over here. And do a bit of... and do a bit of... and do a bit of this. It's kind of small. Actually, hold on. I think I am gonna go back down to this layer so I can just actually fix the stuff on this layer. Okay, and then this eventually becomes the hair that's going around the side of her face, like over here. Okay, I missed a ton in her hair. Wow, I missed a lot in her hair. She has a lot of hair in her face. How does she fights? How does she not get this hair everywhere? Actually, this is the hair that her hairpin is on. Hold up. I have a fantastic eye for detail. Is it raining? Sorry, it's like super windy outside. Okay, it's just wind. Alright, we might have some rain coming in. Okay. It's just really loud outside. I was like, yeesh. Okay. Oops, no. Okay, and then no, this actually ends up becoming this piece of hair. It goes around like this. Actually, no, it goes out. No, it doesn't end up doing that. It ends up becoming this piece of hair that goes around. And then there's this piece of hair that comes down. Well, there's a couple pieces in here, but we don't gotta get that into it. Well, maybe we do. No, I just want to get rid of this bit right here. Okay. And this bit right here, because that's not how our bangs look at all. Like, not at all. I do want to... She does have her bangs in front of her eyes normally, but I kind of want to keep those out of the way. And I think this needs to come over a little bit, honestly. Like more right there-ish. Yeah, there we go. Oh, I need to switch over my laundry here. Hold on. Okay. Starting to feel a little bit more Mina-ish. Okay, and then this hair eventually, actually, I need to erase this. Ah, she looks so naked without this. Because this comes up, around, back down, in front of her face. And then that, and then there's like that, and then her butterfly hairpin is right here. Okay. She does have two kind of little wings that stick out. Not quite protruding how I did it. And then she has other hair that comes out And then this actually goes out and around. And then these bits actually lead into these bits. So this, yeah, so this becomes this. And but she has just a little thing that does that. And then the same thing on this side, where this kind of comes around more. And she has a little bit that comes out there. Okay, there we go. Now it's feeling more Mina. Now it's feeling more like her. Man, she's got a lot of hair. Goodness gracious, girly. Okay. Still not crazy about the eyes, but I could not tell you why. I think it's just because. Anyways, okay, while I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna go switch out my logic real quick. Give me un segundo. I actually, where's my mouse? There it is. What if I make this visible? That works. Okay, I'll be back in just 1 second. Un segundo. Offending icon. Well, I'm sure. Account created. Wow, it actually wasn't created today. That's incredible. It was created yesterday. Well, now Twitch is. Well, now Twitch gets rid of those. Okay, I'm back. I'm back in that New York groove. All right, let me make this go away. Okay. One thing I decided when I walked away was I think I actually need to go away from a rough sketch and actually do a proper, like a proper line art of what I have and do something more detailed. I think it'll look better then, especially the eyes. Because I'm not feeling her right now. I'm feeling her more than I was, that's for sure. But I think I need to do a proper line art. So I want to make everything else go away. Oh my god. Okay, yeah. Well, okay, hold on. I'm not using this over here, so we're just gonna get rid of you. Oh yeah, I haven't made her feet. I haven't fixed her feet. Hold on a second. Hold on a second, I haven't fixed her feet. Legs, similar. Okay, and she's got on. Oh wait, I just scrolled up at something that wasn't there. Where is that? It's here. She's got on some stompers. Okay. I just realized I don't know how to draw shoes. These are not really stompers, let's be honest here. Okay, so it's gonna be, no, that's not what I wanted. It's gonna be more like this. Nope. And then, okay, I really have given her like huge feet though. We need to scale these puppies back. I mean, you draw what you know. No, she's got kind of tiny feet. But her boots come up to like right there. I'm not too worried about the feet, honestly. Honestly, I think her legs are too long. I think that's a big issue. Although she does have literal legs for days, but I think they're a little bit too long. Especially compared to the arms. Yeah, that's better. That's a lot better, actually. As soon as I drew these in, I was like, hold on a second. These look weird. There we go. Second one's much better. That seems a little bit too detailed. I think we just need to put the X's on the front. I think that's a much better. Anything else looks way too detailed. There we go. That's better. Okay. Yay. Okay, she's feeling more like Amina now. Okay, I'm liking this a lot better. Let's hide that. Now let's do some goofiness. This is going to mess her up a lot, but I want to have... a ton of room. I probably should have put all this on a vector layer, but whatever. No one cares. Except for me. What layer is that on? What is that? Oh, that was something I was doing before. Okay. Alright, oops. Oh, the wrong thing. There we go. Okay. Let's do a proper, actual... like version of her. Let's bring this down to like 20%. 15 actually. We'll be extra at it. Okay. Yeah, and the more I look, I think I am going to keep the pointed chin. We'll see how it looks. I had it before with a rounded chin. But she didn't look very Mina-ish. She's got a very pointed chin. We'll see how it goes. We might need to make all of this hair bigger. We'll see how it looks. We are deleting, and I'm on the wrong layer. Okay, there we go. That's a little too thick. Okay. Because my impeccable ability to draw curves. Actually, hold on. That might be a better way to do it. There we go. Oh. There we go. I still think this is probably a bit too thick. I'll turn this down even more. Hold on, which means you probably need to get rid of these lines. Okay, well, although, no, actually, hold on. Outside line should be thicker. Okay. Then inside lines, that's the thing I always forget. And I have not been doing my line exercises, and it shows. Holy cow. What's my stabilization at? I might up this a bit. Okay. Oof. take this from a different angle. I'm so good at drawing. I'm, especially making curves. I've never once struggled. Or wanted to pull my hair out or give up. There we go. Man, but we just gotta keep going. Oh, she's do it, so can you. That reminds me, yesterday I was watching Henya's new outfit reveal for her 3rd anniversary. It was very sweet. I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but afterwards she had a little note that she put out for everyone to see. It was very sad. She was talking about how last year was the hardest year of her life, which I mean would also have to happen with V Shoujo, yeah. I don't blame her. Which is saying something, considering that, what was it? Considering what happened in early 2023, you would think would be a lot worse. With all the stuff that happened with the Harry Potter game and her old persona. Oh man, they treated her so dirty with that. They treated her so dirty with that. If you don't know, basically she was a streamer known as Pikami back in the day. Immensely popular. And she lives in Japan. And this was, and let's see, and then it was, she was out for a bit. I don't remember why. I think she was just maybe doing some family stuff or just taking like a bit of a break. But she said, she's like, hey, I'm going to come back, and when I do, I'm going to play this new, like, Harry Potter game. Mind you, she lives in Japan, but she's half American, half Japanese, so, because I think her dad was an expat, or her biological dad was an expat or in the army or something, I don't know. But I know he lives in Texas. She's been to visit him. So she speaks very good English and Japanese, obviously, because she lives there. But she knew nothing about the discourse that was going on with the Harry Potter game. So for some reason, when she came back, she's like, "Hey, I'm going to come back and I'm going to play the new Harry Potter game," because it was just the flavor of the month at the time. And that's what you got to do as streamers. Sometimes you gotta play flavor of the month, but you also got to do your own stuff. You kind of got to balance it every once in a while. It's a whole thing. So she did that thinking nothing of it. And then I guess the worst people you've ever met on the internet decided that she was going to be an easy target and decided to make her life a living hell and calling her like a transphobe and things like that, even though she had no idea about any of the discourse that was around it, because she doesn't live in America. And she was just like, oh, cool, Harry Potter game. And that was it for her. She had no idea about anything else. And it got really bad. Like, people doxed her, like her and her home address. Like, people sent messages to her family's home saying like they were going to attack them and do things. Like, it was so bad. Like, so insanely bad. And mind you, she never even played it. She just announced that she was going to play it when she came back. And once there was this huge amount of backlash, she was like, okay, never mind, I'm not going to play it. So she never actually played the game. Yet for some reason, she became who everybody attacked for it. I think it's because they saw her as an easy target. I don't know why. Like, there were other people that they attacked, but I feel like she got it the worst, or hers was just like the most like blown out of proportion for what she did, which was even as you played the game, it wouldn't have mattered. You don't do that kind of stuff to someone just because they play a game, especially ones that's that divorced from J.K. Rowling and whatnot. Anyways, just like it's. It's always some of the worst people you've ever met that will be the most puritanical about certain things. And I swear they just picked her because she was an easy target. But anyways, so that happened, and I heard her talk about it on stream once, and how she was so stressed out during that time that like she could barely eat. I don't remember if she could barely eat. I do remember she said I do remember for a fact she said she was so stressed that her hair was starting to fall out. I do remember that, and she was constantly worried that someone was going to break into like her family's house and like do something. I was like, holy shit. And in the middle of that, really bad timing, because that's also when she was set to graduate from her old account and old company and was set to join Bishoujo pretty soon. So yeah. In the middle of all that, she had to announce her graduation, and everyone thought like, oh, hey, we won. We forced her out of here. Another transform god. Woo! Even though she literally didn't do anything. Like, literally didn't do anything. But it was still seen as a big victory. But then she came back. A few months later. I guess it would have been, that would all happened in like February, March, and then she came back in May as Henya, and everyone realized, oh yeah, she probably just left because she was going to be debuting with Shoujo soon. So yeah, so, and I mean that time in her life where she was getting like death threats, and there was a huge part of the internet that just hated her for no reason and was coming after her with everything that they had. Even still, she said that last year was the hardest year of her life. Which is crazy. I don't know what happened behind the scene. Obviously, there's the stuff that happened with Bishoujo last year, obviously. And I'm sure that was a huge headache leading up to that, and a lot of stress, and then probably even more afterwards. I think she has her second anniversary merch. It is just gone. It's just gone. There's nothing that can be done about it. It's just gone, and it's never, ever getting shipped back out. So, which sucks. But she says that there was times that she was close to giving up, and I think this might just be a translation error, but she said also there was times she was close to ending it all. I hope that was a translation thing, because her English isn't the best, and she really just meant like ending streaming. I don't think anyone wants to ask, because it's kind of a touchy subject, obviously. But yeesh. I can't imagine what's been going on behind the scenes with all that Bishoujo stuff. Man, I'm still... That's one of those things I'm still so upset about. Because it was such a monumental fumble. Like, monumental, world-class fumble on the part of Gunrun. Because he had literally the face of VTubing in the West, which is Iron Mouse. And some of the biggest VTubers on the platform, you had Henya, you had Zentrea, and other people who are just like consistently in the top 10. You had he had three of the biggest VTubers on Twitch, period. And a ton of other big names. Oh, Michi too was always up there. No, he had 4, because it's usually Mouse, Henya, Zen, and Michi that are way up there. And just like pure watch hours. And then he had other people coming in, like he had Mint, he had Phoebe, he had Vicky, and all the other people who were in Densetsu. And then he had the beasties who was Pia, Tori, Barry, and friggin' Kiryu Crocodile, which is Jaden Animations, which is such a monumentally insane fumble. Like, oh man. Like, he did so bad, even I think I could do better. I know I would not. I would not. I don't have the money or the capital for something like that, Hero. Oh, man. But there are other people who actually did think that they could do better. Actually, I was about to say Flork, but he started his because of the stuff that happened was going on with Niji Sanji. Yeah. Yeah, weird. And then, like, Idol has collapsed, Bishojo's collapsed. I mean, people meme on this, but FaZe Connect did nothing. They became the biggest corpo in the West. Now, mind you, they have to keep doing something. The test is going to be FaZeCon. I think it's the first time they're doing this, so I think everyone's going in expecting it to be a little rough. I think that's very, very, very fair. If it's probably going to be a little rough. There's definitely going to be things that they need to work on and improve. That's for sure. But they've been going to Off-Kai a bunch. They've been to a bunch of other VTuber conventions. They have a lineup. They have 2 concerts, one each day. So they have, looks like everything planned out. They have different panels. It looks like they have a space. It looks like, if I'm going to be honest, as long as they don't have any like major like gaffes or yabs, and just like, yeah, you know what, it was a pretty good time. If they do that, that's like, they're off and running at that point. Like, they really just they really just need to not have anything major. Like, if they have a few things that they mess up, like logistic wise, like, oh, lines are really long here, but they figured it out the second day and whatnot, that's so reasonable and fine, especially for your first time doing something like this. Having minor things that are definitely issues and do impact some people's ability to enjoy it there, but aren't like things that would cause people to want to refund their entire ticket. As long as they can just avoid anything like major, it's gonna be a success. Because I think people know it's gonna have some issues, and then the next time they're gonna be like, all right, these things worked, these things didn't, let's fix these things. And yeah, and I hope it actually makes them some money. I know Sakana said like last year that they were finally like out of the red and they were actually cash flow positive, so that's good. Or they were no longer running at a deficit, so that's good. Unlike Hollow, well, Hollow's always been cash flow positive, but I guess it's Hollow Stars. Man, I feel bad for them. Although, at least they have some merch. I haven't seen any merch from them for a while. Gavis Bettel has some merch for his birthday, but just like 2 items, and it's usually like 4 or 5 items, if I'm gonna be honest. And it's just like the most basic of stuff. It's an acrylic stand and a like a tapestry, like the most basic of basic stuff, which really stinks, but at least it's something. At the very least, it is something. And another thing people are not happy about. We just found out that Cover Corp poured 20 million US dollars. Not 20 million yen, 20 million US dollars into that like Hollow Earth, that like metaverse thing that they were trying to create. And they just sent out something. I noticed this last week that it was shutting down in June. And then everybody found out that it cost them $20 million after that. And everyone's right pissed because they're like, all right, you poured $20 million into this dumb metaverse thing that no one really wanted. Oh, man. I need to stop coughing. Trying to capitalize on something that like blew up very momentarily during COVID and was never going to take off, never took off for anybody. It didn't even take off for like Facebook and like Metaverse and Meta and all of that. So why did they think it would work for them? They even had talents push it, and I think people would like hop in whenever talents were doing something special around in there. I heard like, what is it? Choco had a like special concert in there once. It was apparently very lewd, and people were like, "Hey, yo, this is how you should be using this. Like, let them do something kind of crazy in here that they can't do on any streaming service." And I mean, that probably would have worked. It's not something I would ever gotten into though, but everyone's like right pissed because they said, oh hey, Holostars is going to be downsizing. Also, we lost $20 million in this thing that nobody wanted. Everyone's like, wonder where your priorities were trying to make something else like that work. To be fair, that kind of do gotta be. And now Suisse is being managed by a different company, but she's still in Hololive, so that means that they probably don't get as big a cut of her profits as they were previously. So the books aren't looking the best for them at the moment. Yet still at the same time, Callie just came back from taking a break, and she said pretty clearly, like, hey, I know you guys want to support the talents, but if you stop supporting Hololive, then all the stuff that we do goes away. Like, the concerts, the incredible, amazing opportunities that I have. And she said very flat out, like, I've heard people say like, oh, you can just go indie and whatnot, but I would not have access to near the amount of things if I was indie than I do here. Like, I wouldn't be able to perform for Apple. I wouldn't be able to like have my own like big solo concerts like this stuff and all that stuff. She's like, those are things that can only really be done in a corporation like this. Like, the infrastructure is just not there for indies to be able to do that. And yeah, she's right. She really is. Even I, who really wanted to get into Holostars, but that's literally impossible now. If they brought it back, I would go for it still. Because there really is just, even with all that's happened, there really is just more opportunity there than doing it yourself. Like, you'd have to be somebody like, you'd have to be someone with the capital of like Vettel or Fillion to be able to do that. I don't even think at least not to the level that they can do in Hololive, because there definitely are indies who have been able to put on concerts, but they've been like in much smaller venues, maybe a crowd of a couple hundred at most, like 300 people. There's no way they're filling up entire stadiums or ballrooms or things like that with capacity of like a couple thousand. That's just not going to happen. They're not going to have access to the spaces, period. I don't think those venues would let them perform there. I'd be like, no, I don't know what this is. I don't know if there's going to be return on investment. Like, no. Which is fair. They're a business too. They have to make sure that they're making money out of this as well, and that you're legitimate. So if you're coming in with like a big corporation that's worth like $1 billion behind you, or a couple $100 million, they're like, okay, yeah, and we'll work with you because you got the capital and you got the backing for this, obviously. But if you're just some no-name, if you're just some person that they've never heard of before, I mean, even if you could draw in enough people to fill the seats, why should they trust you to do that? Especially if you've never done it before. So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she's right. I think it's something she says that she just doesn't want to leave. I think there is something to like fighting to make the place that you love better. Yeah, especially since Callie even before Gur left, Gur was always the biggest talent, but Callie was always the face of Hololive EN, if I'm going to be honest. Ame might have been the leader, and Kiara might have been the heart, but Callie was always the face. And Gura might have been the biggest, and Ina is Ina. That's not a dig at her. It's just she wouldn't want any of that. So she always just wants to be her little potato self. Although with how skinny she is, she's more of a leak. Yeah. Although someone did point out to me, like, of all the default costumes of everybody in Hollow, she has easily the most lewd one. Easily. But because she's such a cinnamon roll, and because she's just got nothing upstairs, or I guess not upstairs, but I guess more on the second floor rather than the top floor in the attic. It just looks normal and we don't think about it, but she's not too far off from just having pasties on. Or I should say band-aids. Yep. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I was drawn. I know, I've been thinking about that stuff. I kind of hate that my special interest has become VTubers. Because I see other people talking about like, oh yeah, I did all these things in the past. Like, oh, like I was watching Rooney's Willie Nelson karaoke before this. She's a very good singer. I don't know how I'd ever watched Rooney before. I'm pretty sure I watched her debut. In fact, I know I watched her debut. Some of the first debuts I ever watched were Face Connect Euphoria. Because they debuted in 2023, 2024? When did they debut? Hold on. When did Phase Euphoria debut? I cannot spell. Let's see. Phase Euphoria 3rd Generation officially debuted in December 17, 2023. Yeah, okay, yeah. That was right after I got started. They were like the first like debuts that I actually decided to watch, because everyone was like, ooh, we got these people. And I think I had been seeing like Pippa and Tenma clips up at that point. I had seen Henny had done a collab with Pippa and Tenma, and I was a little and I was definitely watching a ton of Henny at that point. And I was decided to check them out, and I'm pretty sure I watched their debuts live. The only one I subbed to at the time was Amy. She was actually the first person in phase I subbed to. I still watch her every now and then. I don't know why I didn't sub to Rooney at the time. Oh, it's because I think she had like some sort of contract thing that she had everybody sign, where she was like, "Ooh, you're mine now," and I was like, "Oh, she's just like doing like." And I thought that was GFE. She's not GFE. She's definitely more role play, but role play in the sense of like sticking to kayfabe rather than like anything lewd. She's a very good streamer. Extremely talented at singing and just streaming in general. Puts on some of the most interesting streams. Always has something fun to do. Very, very entertaining. And I didn't see that until last year around October. She does Roosttober, where she streams every day because she has like an evil witch aesthetic. So October, Halloween and all of that, she's built for that year round. So she goes all out, and she made a, what was it? She made a fake Steam page. And was like, oh my god, guys, there's a game called she was like looking through like games or something like that. She's like, oh my god, guys, there's this game called Roosttober. Should we check this out? And she played the trailer that was on the Steam page. But then it turned out that there was a fake Steam page, and it went to an actual like trailer for everything that she was going to be doing during the month of October, and it was really, really cool. Like, it was so cool. And I was like, oh, cool, I'm gonna check her out a little bit. This is actually, this got my attention. And I kind of was in the back of my mind. And then one of her, I don't know if I should admit this. But then like a few days later, maybe like a week later, like, well, one of her streams popped up on my feed. I was like, oh, hey, it's her. I kind of want to check this out because I think I had subbed to her, but I hadn't like watched anything yet. And I saw like her schedule, and the first stream I tuned into was Yandere Wife Roleplay, the musical. I don't think I should admit that. But I did sub to her by the end of that stream. She's very entertaining and a very good singer. What do you want to tell me? What do you want me to do, huh? What do you want me to do? And apparently this was like the second time she's done like that role play, because afterwards she was like, why do you guys keep going along with everything the wife does? She's clearly evil. Because apparently like the first time, like depending on what chat went for, apparently she would have like killed him. I think somebody in chat was like, I can't believe the wife didn't kill you. She's like, me too, but you guys keep going along with everything she's doing and just being like, yep, this is fine. So why would she go along with it? So I was like, listen, to a starving man, even that which is in the dumpster tastes sweet. So let's see. There's her and Mina. There's always somebody who like brings me in to a generation, and then there's a person who, oh hey DW, hello. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? I'm doing a little bit of drawing today. Trying to actually make out a more detailed version of the little comic character. Because I've done a very rough sketch, but I wasn't crazy about it, but I didn't hate it either. And I was like, I think I just need to see this like when it's not rough. So that's what we're doing right now. But how are you? And then this goes, wait, no, this becomes this. Okay, yeah. Oh, but this kind of comes around like this. Huh. Alright, and then there's these little wings that kind of come out. Girl's got a lot of hair. People got hair, man. There we go. Okay, oh, this is coming around like this. Okay. Huh. How you been? How's your week been? Okay. I shouldn't have put this all on one layer. Nah, it's fine. Okay, yeah, I definitely see an issue here. I need to come back around here. There we go. There we go. Much better. Probably should have done that first so I didn't have to erase all this, but whatever. Who cares? That's my drawing. Is the snake a good thing or a bad thing? Let's see, screaming snake. I can only interpret that to mean that you were carried off by a hawk at some point this week. Oh, no, I did not want to do that. Okay. There we go. It's got like VeggieTales face. Maybe that's not a bad thing. Oh wait, I messed up over here. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Get bigger. Make my cursor grow. Okay, okay. think that was the right call. Yeah, because now that I'm seeing it in like better detail and it's not super like rushed and just like, let's see what we can do. I mean, I am starting to like it more. Okay. Okay. However, one thing we do need to do here is I made her very lopsided. We might want to fix that. Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's fix this hair up a bit. Twitch. I swear, I want to fill them in a second. Don't get mad at me, please. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay. Hold on. Okay. The booba being cut off on this side is... We'll see if we'll like it. I'll put it back. I do want the hair to be a little asymmetrical. Just a touch. Or else I think she starts to look weird. Alright, and then fix this up here. Doodly-doo. Doodly-doo. Again, probably should not put all this on one layer, but I frankly don't care. And it's still kind of just meant to be a proof of concept rather than anything else at the moment. Okay, and then... wrong one. No. There we go. Okay. Much better looking. Okay. Okay, now let's make sure we're TOS. Oops. Help if I could actually draw. There we go. Doop. There we go. Okay. Now let's get the dress. This is the part I think is going to probably shine the most. From being, let's see, maybe add a neck? She's supposed to be chibi. Maybe. Although a lot of other styles that I've seen don't really have necks. Unless it's meant to be highlighted for comedic effect. I don't know. We'll take a look at that. That's probably not a bad idea. We can try it after this. Actually, no, only one of my other guys has a neck. Wait, does he have a neck? Can I give him a neck? I don't remember. Where is that guy? He doesn't have a neck either. Actually, none of my guys have necks. Well, these guys kind of have a neck. They kind of have a neck. They don't really have a neck either, but... That might not be a bad idea. I'm really just trying to see if I like this. I'm probably putting way too much thought into it. But at the same time, I want it to be something that I am happy to draw a bunch. And now that I've moved that hair a bit, I can make the belt a little bit bigger over here. Not that big. There we go. And that. And then, ooh, I haven't got my reference again. Okay. Oh, not that page. There we go. Okay, back over here. Ooh, that's bright. Wait, what time is it? Okay. Ooh, I don't got a ton of time left. I should be able to finish this up though. Dude, 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 dude. A little. Do that, and then he's got a little gem right there. Although that honestly might be a little bit too much detail. I'll take that out for right now. Then we got the split. That happens behind here. I don't know why I drew the belt first. Well, doesn't matter too much. All right. And then that, and very, very simplified version of these, and one less, but I think they help to. And then she has two more splits over here, but they're much smaller. A little bit further over. There we go. Okay. Then her sword. Honestly, I just kind of doodled in the sword. It does not really have a lot of. Does not really have a lot of detail. Let's add that now. Wait, no, this is going to be... No, the hair's going to be in front. Oops. Hold on a second. This is all wrong. And... This line is all wrong. Still wrong. Hold on, just turn the canvas. Just turn the canvas, you Diplodongus. Okay. Okay, there we go. And then... There we go. Okay. And then Okay, so with this new update, you really can't hold on a line and be like, think about it, or else it starts actually like morphing it. That's kind of annoying, I'm not gonna lie. I'm also not really using that a bunch. I might just turn it off. And then I just want to do that. Her regular sword is way more intricate, but we don't really need to get that into it. This is supposed to be a chibi. Okay. There we go. That's way different than what I doodled in the back over there, but whatever. Okay. Then over here. At the end of it. There we go. Let's see. Let's put in her arms. Huh. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. And then no. Why did you do that? Can't even draw bad hands. All right. Let's see. Okay, middle fingers are not that much longer. Okay, there we go. Ugh, it's really bad. All right, that'll do for now. Like I said, we're just trying to get a more high fidelity shot, basically, so we can see if we like it. Doesn't gotta be perfect. Although I really do need to figure out. Really do need to figure out the hands, especially if I want to be. I also want this to be something that I can draw quick, too. Or else I'm going to spend forever on single comics. Of course, the first time I draw it is always going to hopefully take the longest. Hopefully, just the first time. Okay. Go. I don't know why. Mitten saved the day. True. She does wear gloves, but not mittens, unfortunately. Alright, then there's her cape, which is coming out from back over here. Sword, cape. All right. And then the boots. I should get rid of these before I add in the X's, or else I'm gonna have a terrible time. Ah! There we go. Did you hear my neighbor? I have a neighbor outside who's talking on the phone, and he just had the biggest, nastiest burp. Hopefully you can't hear him, because he's been talking kind of loud this entire time, but what are you going to do? What if he can hear me? Probably not. Hopefully not. Okay, there we go. Alright. Little chibi, a little more high fidelity version. Take that off. Okay. Man, I made her boobs here. To be fair, that's lower accurate. I might need to scale those puppies back. She definitely looks like she has VeggieTales face too with those eyes. Oh, man. I'm not crazy about them, but I don't know what to do differently. That's the thing. Like, what's an eye that says Wilhemina Frost? Just dots work. I know they kind of do, honestly. The problem is that it doesn't fit with what I have for anybody else. That's the thing. So, like, especially this guy who's going to be, like, the little knight who talks to her. She looks very out of place next to him. And she doesn't have eyebrows. Maybe. I honestly do genuinely like that the most so far. Gosh, I wish he didn't look out of place next to everybody else. Because also, these guys, they're mostly going to be, they're mostly going to have no eyes. Whenever they get surprised, I want their eyes to pop out. Marvin the Martian. Yeah, really Marvin the Martian looking ass. Oh my god. I didn't even realize I did that until right now. That's exactly what I did. Oh my god. So... yeah, that's the thing. Everyone else has full circles except for her. She is beautiful. Can't drive very well. Couldn't tell you why. Meanwhile, she's like... And this is one of those things that I'm gonna really... it's gonna drive me crazy. Yeah, it's just more VeggieTale-like. Oh, man, this honestly does look the best, but it doesn't fit everything else. Unless I change everything else, it'll fit this. Yeah, but then that doesn't work with the gags with, like, the duh, their eyes, like, popping out. And how do I make this guy have just, like... yeah, that just looks scary. Of course, there would be smaller dots. Man, that looks better. Oh, man. I don't know. do know I haven't really liked anything that I've tried. Anytime I add the bottom lines, it just makes it look tired. If I just do nothing but bottom lines. Oh, that makes it look crazy. It makes it look like you just stared at him like, what did you just say? Say that again to my face. She looks like she's confused. Alright. How about just big orbs? What if we just do big orbs? Big black orbs. That's still better than everything else that I've tried. I thought that was going to look weird. It's literally better than everything else I've tried. Man, you gotta be kidding me. I'm about to go with that. Oh, man, if it just fit with everything else that I had drawn. Ah, man. Maybe if I just go really big. Okay, hold on. I'm liking that a little bit better. I gotta move the eyes a little bit, because right now she's looking like she's going like, hmm? Let's move you up a bit. Let's move you up just a tiny bit. Okay. Okay. Making the eyes bigger and the dots smaller. I think just making them bigger. I don't know why that helped. Wait, is that? Oh no, that's because it's... Yeah, making them bigger, a little bit lower, adding in eyebrows. That's helped out a lot. I still think I need to move them back up a bit. I feel like I'm going to do all this just to end back at where I was before, but for some reason I don't like it now. Maybe it's because I didn't have eyebrows here. Yeah, maybe if I just erase the eyelids and put in eyebrows there. Because I feel like the eyes are really pretty much the same size. So why do I like it more now? Genuinely, why do I like it more now? Is it because they're rounder? That could be it. These were very oval-ish. That's what it was. These were oval-ish. These are rounder. More circle-ish. Okay. Let's fix her droopy eye. go. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Now, I kind of wish I hadn't done this on one layer, so I could actually put a neck on her. Okay, let's see what she looks like with an open mouth, though. Because that's what I did before. That's one of the things, I think that's one of the reasons why it looked kind of goofy. Why does this look so much better? Also, all I did was add in eyebrows and make them rounder, and it looks so much better. What if I add in the eyelids? No. Gotta have like next to no eyelids. Okay. That just looks like she's falling asleep. Okay. No eyelids. Okay. I think we're getting somewhere. I'm actually happier with it. How could I see myself drawing this over and over again? Yeah, honestly. It's really not that difficult. All right. I might do... What time is it? Ooh, okay. I need to think about going. I gotta get ready for work tomorrow. Okay. I think we might do a little bit of coloring, and then I might do a little test comic with this to see if I like it. But I'm much happier. Was it really all... Was really the only difference was adding eyebrows and making the eyes rounder rather than more oval? Is that really all that it was? Wow. It's so fascinating to me, the things that seem off and you just can't tell what it is. Especially with faces. There's so many things I'm like, this isn't right. No idea what isn't right, but I just know it's not right. Even on stuff like this, where it's just like a little chibi. Anyways, I might need to tone down her bazongas a bit. They are very distracting. Lower accurate, but distracting. Okay, all right. Well, hey, I think we made some good progress today. Yay. We got... They're kind of all over the place. But we got little guys that I'm all proud of. Hold on. What layer is it? What layer are these two guys on? There are these two layers. Okay, hold on. Let's merge these two. Then let's grab them and move them over. So they're not in the way. Yay! I just realized I cut off a huge section of him. Hold on. There we go. Okay. There we go. We got all our guys. Mina. The Twillagers and the Illagers and the Willager. The one who actually speaks. Yay! These guys are easy. I don't know why I decided to put them in kilts with a single slash. That's just how I imagine them in my mind. Oh no. Music, no. Okay, there we go. I really hate the touch controls on these. Especially if you have long hair, they will just sometimes just, you will flip your hair back and it'll just be like, oh, did you want to switch to the next song? I was like, no, I did not. I wanted my hair out of my face. Anyways, all right. I think that's good for today. We might mess around with a little bit of coloring and shading because I do want this to actually be colored the next time. And yeah, I think I probably need to do a more high def version of these guys too, because these are still just a rough sketch. This guy is still a rough sketch, but I just nailed the rough sketch so hard. I was like, we'll just go with it. Also, he has 5 fingers, and Mino only has 4. I just realized that. I might steal 2 of his fingers. Just 1 from each hand, or maybe 2 from 1. Who knows? All right, but there we go. We actually got character designs I'm happy with. Let's freaking go. Yes. All right. Next time, probably not tomorrow. Tomorrow's Baldur's Gate. And then I don't know what we're doing on Thursday. So it'll be next Saturday or Sunday we'll get back to this. Yeah, okay. I'll think about an actual schedule. I don't know what I want to do on Thursdays. Thursdays are some of the hard days. Because always on weekends I'm like, well, I know I either want to do karaoke or drawing on Sundays. Unless I'm really not feeling it, they'll play a game. Or if I really want to play a game. But Thursdays and Saturdays, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'll figure it out. Anyways, yay! More progress. Okay. I had to call it there because I gotta go pack everything up and get ready for work and go to bed and all that fun stuff. Got a fun day, and it's supposed to be stormy. Yay! Anyways, it's been fun. It's been real. It's been real fun, but it's not quite been a fun reel. I will be back tomorrow with some Baldur's Gate 3, and I will see you guys then. Y'all have a good one. Peace. Where's my mouse? There it is. Goodbye. Bye, Callaway. Bye, DW.